Hello dear friends, a great welcome to this series on Idea Statica Member. Myself Jarajan P. This is tutorial number 34. Here I will demonstrate how to verify a laterally restrained beam using Idea Statica Member module with respect to Indian Standard Code of Practice IS 800. So let me first of all provide you the problem statement. In Idea Statica Member, we need to verify a simply supported laterally restrained beam shown here. The beam has a span of 5 meters and the section adopted for the beam currently is ISMB 450, which we need to verify, and the material used is FY 250 steel grade. And for the ultimate limit state, the value of the uniformly distributed load, that is a design load, is 127.5 kilonewton per meter, and for the serviceability limit state, W is calculated to be 65 kilonewton per meter. Please remember that for ultimate limit state, the value of W is obtained from the value of the permanent as well as the variable actions. Now the computed plastic moment of capacity of the ISMB 450 section, which is calculated as per IS 800 provisions, is 348.5 kilonewton meter. So let me take you to Idea Statica Member for the modeling and the verification of this problem. So this is the model developed for the current tutorial. So I would request all of my engineers to go back to tutorial number 33, wherein I explained in detail the procedure required for the development of Idea Statica Member model. So accordingly, I'm not going to explain in detail the procedure for the model development here. In fact, for this tutorial, I will just present you what are the parameters that is inputted into the Idea Statica Member model, right? So as you can see that just like the earlier tutorial, we have got an analyzed member AM1 and two related members, that is RM2 and RM3, to which AM1 is connected. Now, if you go back to the AM1, you can say that it is ISMB 450 and it's of a grade E250 Fe410WA, which means that it has got a yield stress of 250 Newton per meter square. And my related members, as you can see, they are of ISMB 550. So it does mean that between the analyzed member and the related members, I got a total depth difference of 100 mm. So which means that in order to keep the TOS of these two AM and RM the same, I need to input an offset of EZ, that's equal to 100 by 2, that's equal to 50 mm in this model. So you can see that it is already inputted here, offset EZ 50 mm. Now let me take you to the related members, and before that please look also here, the length is set is to 5 meters in the project setting parameters. Now coming to the related members, you can see that is ISMB 550, and here I have used a stub each of length 1 meters, right? And the support conditions, as you can see that I have not allowed any displacements or any translations to take place in the XYZ directions. That means XYZ directions do have the translations restraint, and at the other end I have allowed the supports to move in the X and Y directions, whereas in the Z directions the support is restrained. I allowed all the rotations to take place. So similar is the parameters inputted for the RM3 member also. As you can see, so also the ISMB 550, and you have got the two stubs each of length 1 meter, and the support conditions are exactly the same as RM1. Now going to the loads, LE1, obviously as I told you, this software, that is a Idea Statica Member module, will permit you to input as many load cases as possible. So for this tutorial I have used only two cases that represents the ultimate limit state as well as the serviceability limit state. So in this case LE1, as you can see that I have introduced the ULS, that's the ultimate limit state, wherein we need to enter all the factored combinations of the permanent as well as the variable actions. So you can see that the member considered is the AM1. I have applied the load on AM1. In this case, I have applied a uniformly distributed load. So accordingly, I have set a begin of, it has to start from 0 and it has to end at 5, because you know that the span of AM1 is 5 meters. And in the Z directions, I have applied a uniformly distributed load of 127.5 kilonewton per meter, right? And as you can see that the load is applied on the top flange, okay, and the width of the loading is 100 mm. Okay, fine. And just like the earlier tutorial, I did not allow any end forces on the latent members, right? Now I have defined another load case that exactly replicate or that exactly corresponds to the serviceability limit state. So in the serviceability limit state, I did not consider any permanent loads. I have only considered the variable actions, that's the live loads, because the live load, it is presumed that all the dead load deflections will be completed before constructing or before proceeding for the construction of the floorings, right? So here, as you can see that in the AM1 model, it is subjected to a uniformly distributed load, right? And that has got an intensity of 65 kilonewton per meter. So you can see that this is a uniformly distributed load. And just like the LE1 case, it is applied on the top flange, and the width across the cross section of this loading, it is equal to 100 newton, 100 millimeters. Now let me take you to the connections. So here, as I already told you, you need to develop the connections using the Idea Statica connection module, right? So for example, I just want to tell you, I just want to show you how the connections are being developed and what are the parameters used. So what I will do is I will just enter into connection 1. I'll edit this connection. So obviously this will take you to the Idea Statica connection as usual. So here you will find that this the connection is an end plate shear connection. So here as you can see that there are three manufacturing operations. One is a cut that is made on the flange of AM1, and the other one that is corresponding to OPN1, right? So this manufacturing operation corresponds to the cut made on the flange of AM1, and then I have got another manufacturing operation that is required for providing a cut on the web of AM1, so that is OPN2 as you can see here. And finally, the end plate bolted connection is mobilized to do the end plate manufacturing operation. So as you can see that is an end plate connection that is provided with a total of 8 numbers of bolt, and that is having M24 8.8 grades. Okay, so in a similar way you can also see, and please remember that CON1 represents the connection between AM1 and this RM2. And in a similar way, as you can see that, for example, you would like to know what's the connection detail provided to RM3, you can just go to CON2 and just edit it here. Okay, so then it will obviously take it directly to the Idea Statica connection module. So this is the connection as you can see. It is exactly the same connection as provided at the other end. It's 8 number of bolts and it is an end plate shear connection. Okay, so we have input all the required parameters required for the verification of this beam. Now as you can see that no operations are being performed because we have not provided any kind of stiffness or any kind of opening on the analyzed member. So for the time being we have not considered here. So now we are ready to proceed for the verification of the member. So let us just press calculate. So now let us start reviewing the results. So first of all, we will straight away start with the strain check. So as you can see that the strain levels have gone up to 1.5. Obviously, this is less than 5%. And if you just examine the strain distribution, you can see that yes, many of the fibers have started yielding, starting from the top and the bottom fibers, and it is inching towards the center. So as per our basics, we know that we are going to have the development of a plastic hinge formation, at the midspan with this applied load. Okay, that means this applied load is going to exhaust almost all the full capacity because we have reached a strain level of 1.5. Now to reach a strain level of 5%, maybe that we may require an additional just 2% or 3% of the loads. So now let us also review. So you can see that just the development of the yielded zone is almost like a mathematical parabolic shape, right? So now let us get into the stress, the distribution of the stresses across the cross section. So here again you will find that it's the same thing, right? So you'll find that yes, if you, for example, if you just zoom on to the mid section, you can see that almost all the fibers have yielded, and except a few fibers where the stresses are going to yield, right, going to approach the 250 level, right? So means that this level almost corresponding to what we call as the development of a full plastic hinge at the midspan. Okay, now we need to find out what exactly is the bending moment that is getting developed at the midspan under the applied load. So what we do is that we straight away go for first the internal moments. Before that, let me do one thing. Let me just put the strain level here. So yes, so you can see that the distribution of the plastic strain. So look here, it's a very beautiful diagram. You can say that the distribution it is inching towards, right. So the 1.5 distribution it is inching towards what we call as the center of the beam, right. So when this red zone almost spreads into the midspan, we can say that the plastic hinge is formed. Now let me take you to what will be the bending moment diagram. So we'll simply press the internal forces. So internal forces, yes, you can see that a bending moment diagram 396 kilonewton meter. This is the maximum moment that is getting developed in the beam due to applied loading. And if you remember, the applied loading was 127.5 kilonewton per meter, right? And if you remember the one line in my problem statement, I've already stated that the moment carrying capacity of the section or the plastic moment carrying capacity of the section as computed using the IS 800 is only 348.5. So you may ask me, then is it that the Idea Statica is okay calculating on the higher side the moment carrying capacity? No, it is not like that. The reason for this is very simple. See, the capacity of this section, the plastic moment carrying capacity of the section as computed from IS 800. If you see the formula, it uses the something like, okay, that is the MR is equal to some beta into that is ZP, that's a plastic section modulus into Fi divided by gamma MO. So you have in the denominator, there's a partial safety factor for the material. In IS 800, this partial safety factor is taken as 1.1. Okay. On the other hand, if you see the other international codes, okay, this partial safety factor is taken as 1 only. It does mean that the IS 800 applies a factor of safety of 10%, right? And it means that it underestimates, right? It underestimates the plastic moment carrying capacity of the section by 10% by using a gamma MO is 1.1, which means that actually the moment carrying capacity of the section should have been 383. If you avoid, if you use gamma MO is equal to 1 instead of 1.1, and this is 383 is matching with the 396, right? It's almost, there's a minor difference of 2%. So again, you know that it is still okay. You have got only 1.5%. So maybe that when you go to a level of say, for example, say 398 or say 400. So and 400 minus 383, it is coming almost within the limits. So so that's a very important thing. That means in the Indian standard, okay, you need to remember that we have a gamma m of 1.1 okay, versus 1.00 used in the international codes. So IS 800, in fact, it underestimates the moment carrying capacity sections by almost 10% if you compare it with the international codes of practice. Okay, fine. So that is it. And if, for example, in the same way, for example, if you are interested in the VZ, okay, you can see that this is the distribution of the VZ. Okay, so you can find that it is a, okay, at the center almost the shear force has to be 0, right? And you've got a maximum shear force of say that is equal to 318.7 kilonewton at the supports, right? So now you can also check whether the deflections of this beam are within the permissible limits or not. For example, obviously we know that the deflections have to be checked under a different load combination, that is LE2. So let me just press this UZ. So I will just remove this internal forces because I want to make the diagram simpler one, and the UZ, and the UZ also I want to use a deformed shape also. So okay, you'll find that the maximum deflection is somewhere around the center only is 9.9 mm, and this you can compare with the code specified limits. Normally I remember that IS 800 it sets a limit of L by 300. Okay, so for example L by 300, if you take, I think that there's enough margin, it comes out to be around say 16 mm. Here it is around 10 mm only. So you find that this beam is good enough, right? So if you want to see the report, you can press the report. And as I told you, there is nothing big in the report except that it provides only the variations of the strains and the stresses. No additional calculations are there. So that's all the presentation of this tutorial, which covers basically the IS 800 provisions. So next time we will obviously see a new tutorial that covers how to verify a laterally unrestrained beam using the Euro codes as well as the Indian standards also. So that is